The story of Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undefeated mixed martial arts champion, is one of grit, discipline, and an unyielding commitment to his roots. But to truly understand the man who would dominate the octagon and leave an indelible mark on the world of MMA, we must start at the beginning, long before the cheers of the crowd or the weight of championship gold. It starts in the mountains of Dagestan, a place where life itself is a relentless training ground, and where Khabib's schooling, both academic and martial, shaped him into a legend. The icy wind howled through the Caucasus Mountains as a young Khabib trudged through the snow-covered path leading to his village school. It was a routine he knew well, a trek that demanded resilience before he even set foot in the classroom. The school stood modestly at the edge of the village, a small building with chipped paint and creaking doors. But it was a place of learning, and for Khabib, it was another arena where discipline mattered. Khabib's father, Abdulmanap, was a man of principle and structure. He believed that education both of the mind and body was non-negotiable. From a young age, Khabib was taught the value of balance. His mornings were spent in school, where he studied mathematics, language, and history. His afternoons, however, were reserved for training. Under Abdulmanap's watchful eye, Khabib learned wrestling techniques that had been passed down through generations, along with an unwavering respect for discipline and hard work. But school wasn't just about academics for Khabib. It was a proving ground of a different kind. The village kids often engaged in friendly competitions, testing each other's strength and agility during breaks. For Khabib, these moments were opportunities to hone his skills, even if they seemed trivial to others. Wrestling in the snow, climbing trees, or racing uphill were more than just games. They were foundational lessons in endurance and resilience. Despite his competitive spirit, Khabib was known among his peers for his humility and focus. Teachers often remarked on his ability to absorb lessons quickly, even though his mind was frequently preoccupied with the training sessions that awaited him after school. There was a quiet determination in his eyes, a sense that he was working towards something greater, even if no one, not even Khabib himself, fully understood what that was. However, life in Dagestan was not without its challenges. The rugged terrain and harsh winters tested everyone, including young Khabib. There were days when the walk to school felt endless, the biting cold seeping through layers of clothing. On other days, the demands of balancing academics and rigorous training seemed overwhelming. But in these moments, Abdulmanap's teachings resonated most deeply. "You don't stop because it's hard," he would say. "You keep going because that's who you are." One particularly harsh winter, Khabib faced a challenge that would test both his physical and mental resolve. A regional academic competition was announced, and his teacher encouraged him to participate. The competition required long hours of preparation, but it coincided with an important wrestling tournament. For Khabib, the choice wasn't easy. He wanted to excel in both arenas, but the weight of expectation loomed heavy. As the days passed, Khabib split his time between the classroom and the wrestling mat. His evenings were spent poring over books by the dim light of a kerosene lamp, while his mornings began with grueling training sessions. Abdulmanap noticed the toll it was taking on him, but chose not to intervene. He believed that challenges like these were necessary for growth. The night before the academic competition, Khabib sat at the family's kitchen table, his head resting in his hands. His mother, seeing his exhaustion, placed a hand on his shoulder. "You don't have to do everything, Khabib," she said gently. "Sometimes it's okay to choose one thing." But Khabib shook his head, determination flickering in his tired eyes. "No, Mama. I want to do both." The next morning, Khabib walked into the competition hall with the same quiet confidence he carried into the wrestling ring. Questions were tough, requiring both knowledge and quick thinking, but Khabib tackled them with focus. When the results were announced, he placed second in achievement that filled his teacher with pride. Yet, there was no time for celebration. Khabib had a wrestling match the very next day. That match, against a strong local opponent, was one of the hardest he had faced at the time. Crowd gathered around the small village gym, cheering as Khabib stepped onto the mat. His body was tired, his muscles sore from days of relentless effort, but his mind was sharp. The match was intense, with neither opponent willing to give an inch. In the final moments, drawing on every ounce of strength and strategy, Khabib executed a flawless takedown, securing his victory. When the referee raised his hand in triumph, the crowd erupted, but Khabib's expression remained stoic. He wasn't celebrating the win. He was reflecting on the journey that had brought him there, the sleepless nights, the early mornings, the unyielding commitment to his goals. It was in these moments that Khabib began to understand the deeper lesson his father had been teaching him all along. True success isn't just about winning. It's about the character you build in the process. As Khabib walked home that evening, the crisp mountain air filling his lungs, he felt a sense of clarity. His schooling, both in the classroom and on the mat, was shaping him into someone who could endure, adapt, and overcome. But little did he know that the lessons he had learned so far were only the beginning. The road ahead would be filled with challenges far greater than he could imagine, and the discipline instilled in him during those early years would be the foundation upon which he built his future. Back at home, Abdulmanap greeted him with a rare smile. "You've done well, Khabib," he said. "But remember, this is just the start. The real test is staying true to yourself, no matter what comes your way." Khabib nodded, the weight of his father's words sinking in. He didn't fully understand them yet, but he would. For now, he was content to take it one step at a time, knowing that every challenge was shaping him into the person he was destined to become. What he didn't know was that the lessons of his childhood would not only carry him to greatness, but also define his legacy in ways that would inspire millions around the world.